Hello everyone. Every few months I see threads on Reddit and Twitter of people asking if there are any visual kei musicians who are members of the LGBTQ+ community. So I decided to make this video to kinda compile all queer musicians that I am aware of into an easily accessible list. Think of this video as a very late Pride Month special. I need to give you a few disclaimers before we start. Keep in mind that these are all musicians that I personally am aware of or that I found while researching for this video. If you know of any other queer musicians active in the visual kei scene, please let me know about them in the comments down below. In order for a musician to appear in this video, there needs to be substantial proof that they are queer. They need to either state this directly or hint at it very strongly. I will not discuss simple rumors and theories, and sadly, this video will not include some musicians who are often named in discussions of queer visual kei people, because in some cases I was unable to track down first-hand information regarding their orientations or identities. All of my sources, including some of the threads about queer visual kei musicians, will be linked in the description of this video, so you can head over there to find the people I will not name in this video. And one more thing, I will only discuss Japanese musicians. And no, I will not address the two giant Argentinian elephants in the room. By the way, I decided that from now on I will read the list of my patrons only at the end of my videos, and they will be listed alphabetically, divided into subscription tiers. As their number keeps increasing, the time it takes me to read all of them also increases. So I'm doing this in order to not make my intros too long, and yes, I do realize the irony here. My disclaimer about shortening my intros made this intro very long, I apologize. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's start with the musician who is probably the most outspoken about LGBTQ+ issues. Kaya, solo artist and vocalist of Schwarzstein. He has been very open about being bisexual, even his bio on streaming services mentions this fact. Asked about his sexuality, he said, "The people I have a love interest for are beautiful people. I don't care for gender, age or looks. The body is just the container of a person's soul, so it doesn't matter what it looks like." During a Q&A session at the American convention PMX, Kaya was asked if he had any advice for the LGBT community, to which he responded, "You don't need to be ashamed of who you are, and you should go ahead and embrace whoever you want." He wrote an open letter to his transgender fans on Twitter, thanking them especially and saying they were special and wonderful people, and that he felt for them very much. Kaya has appeared and performed at many queer events. He was the Grand Marshal of the first Pride Parade in his home province of Tokushima. In 2025 he was a featured performer at Tokyo Pride, one of the largest queer events in Asia. He performed a few songs including Glitter Arc, which according to him he wrote in 2006 as a song of acceptance of himself. Issay, vocalist of There's a Bet, was probably the first Japanese rock musician to discuss his sexuality so openly. In a 1994 interview, he spoke about his experience of being bisexual. In high school, he and his friends snuck out of their dormitory to go to gay bars because they felt comfortable there. Quote, "The gays were interesting people. You know, those people, they would have to hide that they are gay after all, don't they? That's because in society you can't really openly say I'm gay, right? But when they go to this bar, they can finally let themselves out, you see." There were subtle shared feelings between fellow discriminated persons too, and those people were very liberated in there. Asked if he dated men, he said, "Yup, it's like I don't really have any resistance against such things. When it comes to sex, I don't have anything against it either." He also recalled another story from his school time. "When I frivolously put on makeup in high school and went walking around, there would be big brawny guys who would come up to me and say, 'Hey fucker, I'm gonna kiss ya,' like they're trying to harass me. And when they'll grab onto me like they're gonna kiss me, I'll stay still, stare and say, 'Sure, go ahead.' Then they would stop. Why didn't they do it? If they wanted to, it would be fine anyways." So you see, I don't really think much of these things. Issay also hinted that he might see himself as a genderless person. "I don't have much feelings about being male or female, that's definitely where I stand. That's why I hate the male-female categorizations. You see, to me, gender is not something that has an ideal. In my mind, I don't have a gender. Ao Sakurai, guitarist of Caligari, is homosexual. He confirmed this in an interview in 2002.
いわゆるストレートに聞いてしまえばおかまさんだっていうふうにもっと平たく言うとホモってやつです。
Dinah, former dancer, bassist and flutist of Nukiki, is a trans woman. Jam Awards biography article for the band mentions that she underwent a gender-affirming surgery. And you know, I love Jam Awards, their website is great, but you can tell that this article was written 20 years ago. I do not recommend reading it, honestly. Omi, guitarist of Exist is bisexual. In one interview she was quoted saying, "When I was in middle school, I fell in love with someone of the same gender. I felt isolated knowing that I was different from everybody else. I have an appreciation for both sexes. I haven't even told this to the other members, but before, when I had received messages about sexual minorities, I would get excited and impulsively confess, I am one too. Then the fans' reactions would change too. You are so brave, I heard that a lot." Gackt, solo artist and former vocalist of Malice Mizer, talked about being bisexual numerous times. His first mention of this was in a Malice Mizer interview in 1998. "Male or female does not matter to me, everything depends on me being able to trust that person or not. If the person I fall in love with is a man, I think that there's no problem with that. Between two people of the same sex there will be physical unevenness that makes some things challenging, but if you clear those hurdles there's no issue at all. I am okay with everything. Gender has no impact on me falling in love with someone. Of course, I do have my preferences. I don't like hairy people, for example. If I was okay with hairy people, I think I would be dating anyone regardless of their gender. If there are those reading this who think this guy is bi, go ahead and let them, is all I would say." He reiterated this numerous times during his solo career. He often discussed his romantic relationships with both men and women. Here are just a few examples. During one of his concerts, he said, quote provided by user Finite Automata on Reddit, "Because of how I dress, people often say I'm gay. That's what they say, but I am not gay, I'm bi. If a man is beautiful too, it's fine."
心と心がつながれば、体と体も
いいんですか、そんなこと言って。
いいですよ。
ガクトさんはどっちなんですか？女性が好きなんでしょ？
女性も好きですよ。
男性も好きなんですか？
男性も好きですよ。
でも男性とキスとはしないでしょ？
しますよ、たまに。
誰とするんですか？
仲のいい子。
だって僕普通に男同士でキスするぜ。気まずくなんないぜ。
本当ですか？
ならない。
してみようかな。
じゃあもう両思いちゃうの？
いいじゃん。僕だって普通にするんだ
じゃあ
よ、こいつらとも。
まあここ全員キス友ですからね。
普通にみんなで酔っ払ったらするよな。
本当ですか？じゃあちょっと今度してみます。
変な常識にとらわれない方がいいと思うんですよ。
そうですね。
だって相手にドキドキできるって、別にそれがね、例えば異性であったら異性でも別にいいと思うし、でもそれが同性の時もあってもいいと思うんだよ。例えばお互いがそういう関係になっても、お互いがその上でやっぱり自分たちの友達の方がいいよねってなったら普通に戻れるから。
なるほど。
そうして気まずくなってダメになるってことないから。
Sakura, bassist and leader of Dark Martian, is a trans woman. On her social media she spoke out in support of Japan's LGBT community and criticized the widespread use of transphobic terminology. She is also the only v-kei musician that I'm aware of that has a Blue Sky account, and also the only one to specify her English pronouns in her Twitter bio. Atsushi Sakurai, vocalist of Gackt, made several hints at the possibility of him being bisexual. In a 1989 interview, asked if he ever fell in love with someone of the same sex, Atsushi responded, Yes, it was a different type of love than when it is with a woman, someone who has the attributes I don't, a kind but manly person. He sings well too. Asked if he approves of same-sex relationships, he said, yes, these people should do what they feel is right. Almost 3 decades later, in 2018, he was asked if he thinks he could love a man, to which he responded with a simple yes. Atsushi was also vocally supportive of the LGBTQ+ community. Gackt's song Hizumi is popularly interpreted to be about a transgender woman who was estranged by her family. Mirai, former vocalist of L'Armédange, is a transgender woman. On her Twitter she tagged some of her posts with #trans, #MTF and #Sakurai, which stands for sexual minority. Raika, former drummer of Ninth and Pluto, declared themselves as gender neutral. Quoting the v-kei encyclopedia, it does not represent any problem for their person if they are treated in a feminine or masculine way. Fans of the band usually refer to Raika with feminine pronouns and adjectives. They also adopted the feminine nickname Rai-chan. Heidi, now retired vocalist of Butterfly Syndrome, is a trans man. He mentioned being a guy a few times on his Twitter. Solo artist DJ SiSeN is homosexual. Quote from the v-kei encyclopedia, he confesses that from a very early age he became aware of his sexual orientation and gender, and that although he could not confront his parents about revealing the fact that he was homosexual, they always managed a relatively open parenting style, agreeing to buy him dolls or comics, mostly for female audience. Yuuri, vocalist of Irokui and Rorschach Inc., came out as a woman I think in 2011 on an Amiibo blog, somewhere around the time Irokui first disbanded. It appears that he stopped publicly identifying as such by the time Rorschach Inc. came to be. I did not find a direct confirmation of this from him, but he does refer to himself as a man and a crossdresser these days. People claim that in one of Yuri's social media posts, he stated that he does not really care what gender people see him as and how they refer to him. Instagram bio of Hal, solo artist and former vocalist of Issay Orchestra reads, singer, songwriter, gay, vocalist. This one is pretty self-explanatory, I think. Ataru Nakamura, solo singer-songwriter who, as far as I know, is rather unrelated to the v-kei scene outside of her 1-year-long stay in the v-kei's music project by Dai from Diren Grey, came out as a woman in 2006. She is actually quite a well-known artist in Japan. One of her songs, Tomodachi no Uta, which tells of her struggles with her sexuality, reached number 9 on the Oricon charts. And that concludes my list of v-kei musicians who are members of the LGBTQ+ community. As I said in the intro, it is not a complete list. I was not able to verify people's statements regarding some other musicians. All of my sources are in this video's description. Let me know in the comments if you know of any queer musicians who I have not talked about in this video. Thank you to my Machery tier patrons, Big Body Igor, Damian Trevor Vincent, Lemon Piglet, and thank you to my Premier Amour tier patrons, Canary Casey, Dali, Evister, Hattie Soup, Mizzy, Mumble Honey, Remilia and the Insomniac Slayer. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.